What's up guys, welcome to the Komar Project. Today, I'm going to show you how I installed this vinyl plank flooring in our laundry room over existing vinyl. Now, these are just things that I used and you don't have to use the same exact stuff. Just know that you have to prep the floor really well so you get a good bond, and how you do it is up to you. But this is how I did it. First, you want to prep the room by removing any floor vents that you may have, and if you have any baseboards installed, just remove the base shoe by scoring it with a knife and using a spatula or some sort of a pry bar to pull it away from the baseboard. Then remove everything else in the room, and in my case it was the washer and dryer, which were pretty heavy, and Thor just stood around and watched. I know, it's tough. Okay, so the floor preparation is probably the most important part, because if you don't clean it really well and it's not debris free, you're not going to get a good bond from these planks. In my case, the flooring that we're going over is in really good shape, so we don't have to remove it and start from scratch. We just need to clean it up really well. So I poured my solution into a bucket and then used hot water with it. The hot water just breaks things up much easier. I used a microfiber mop to clean the floor, but you can pretty much use anything that you have laying around the house, just as long as it's clean. In all, I think I mopped the floor 3 times to get it ready for installation, and I was ready to go. The flooring that we're using is a peel and stick vinyl plank flooring. So I was going to use the chalk line to get a reference line for my first row, but then I just realized that I already had a reference line from the existing flooring that was installed, and I just followed that. Typically, most walls are not going to be straight, so you don't want to reference off those. So just shoot a line and you should be good to go. So when you first pull them out of the box, you're going to see that they have a paper backing. Just peel that off and then carefully align it with your reference line on the floor. The first row is the most crucial, because if you don't get that one straight, everything is going to reference off of it and you're going to end up having some issues down the road. So if you take your time here, it's going to pay off later. Start by placing one end of the plank on the floor, aligning it with that line, and just press it down and then continue all the way through the plank. Hand pressure is all you're going to need. Your second plank butts up to the first and goes down the same way. Again, make sure you're following your reference line from the first row and just keep going. Now on the second row, you're going to have to make a cut in your first plank. So for the cut, you want to measure from the end of the plank to wherever you're going to be cutting. Go ahead and use your square to make a straight line, and then with a sharp utility knife, make a scoring line right across that plank. You don't have to go very deep with that knife, and you'll see once you start bending it, it's going to break at that cut line. Then you can cut it from the back, and you're only cutting paper at that point. These planks are super easy to cut, so just make sure you're scoring from the top, and it'll give you a nice clean cut line. Place your cut side against the wall and make sure you're butting it nice and close to that first row, not leaving any gaps. Here, Samantha got in on the action. There's just something about laying these planks that she enjoys doing. She actually ended up doing the remainder of the room. And I was totally good with that, because she's actually a lot more patient than I am and does a better job.